Okay, so starting off here, we are going to open up this link, Adobe Animate Classroom in the book. This is the Google Docs link. Scroll to page 49, 48. See, 48 kind of is the lesson overview. We kind of went over that in the last video. And basically, the stage is where you lay out all your visual elements. Timeline panels is where you organize frames and layers, and it kind of lets you control your creation. So it's just going to start by opening Adobe Animate. It's a little bit different for Windows. It actually walks you through how to do it using Windows and how to do it using a Mac computer. Obviously, I have a Mac, so mine's going to be a little bit different if you have a computer, if you have a different computer than a Mac. But it shows you how to do either way. So I'll just start. Go into my applications. I have my Adobe Animate folder here. Open that up, double click, make sure that's getting launched. And then you can also do a control click, options, keep in dock so that it stays there. So you don't have to do this again. I also have the PDF open on my phone just to kind of help me out, because I mean, honestly, trying to do this on one screen is a little bit tricky. So I suggest opening this up on your phone. So I actually can log into Brightspace with my phone and then just click on that link and then open up this the Adobe Animate book, scroll to page 48, and kind of have that on my phone as well. That's a good place to start. Another thing to remember, obviously, is in Brightspace, sorry, I'm kind of clicking all over the place here. In Brightspace, make sure you have downloaded the files for the lesson. You'll need those. So in the book, it actually talks about opening the end file to see, what we're actually going to be making. I will go ahead and push the open button here. I will show you what they're talking about. I did not include that for you guys because I didn't feel like you needed that. So I'll just show you here what we will be making. Just have to go into, see, I have all the lesson files in here, but this is what they were talking about. 01n.fla file. And this is basically, if we open this, this is the final project. And if we want to test to see what this looks like, I can actually just push this play button and it'll go through the timeline. This little marker here will go through the timeline and we can play the video. So this is basically what we're going to be making. You can also go up to control, I believe control test. And it'll create a little window that pops up on its own and shows you the movie that we're going to be making. Super simple. Like I said, this isn't going to be a hard thing for us to do. And we can actually close out of this now that we've actually previewed what we're making. So we'll close out by just clicking on that X. And then the book, if we go to the book, we did this already. So then it kind of goes into understanding document types and creating a new document. Playback environment. The playback or runtime environment is the technology that your final published files will use to play. It could play in a browser with HTML5 and JavaScript. Perhaps they will be a video and then you'll upload it to YouTube. Or your project could play as an app on a mobile device or even as a virtual reality immersive experience. You should make that decision first so you can choose the appropriate document type inside of Animate. And then they said there's 9 document types. They say likely, though, you'd only work with 2 or 3 of them since they're the most common. And then it kind of goes through the different file types, the 9 different file types here. So if we're in here, you can see that there's kind of a similar to some of the other Adobe things, you can come in here and there's some different categories with different sizes. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to actually select the advanced category, which is on the far right. And then, let's see. And then it says to choose Action Script 3. And then over here you can actually change the width and the height. So it says in the book 800 pixels by 600 for height. And then I think just go ahead and click Create. So Animate created a new ActionScript 3.0 document with the specified stage dimensions of 800 by 600 pixels. So we'll do a file save. File save. And I'm actually going to put this, let's see. I'll put it on my desktop. I guess I'll put it in my documents. I'll put it inside of the class folder. So electronic design 1 if I can find it. I'll make a new folder, lesson 1. So make sure that you do this. And then we can save this. However the book tells you how to do it, really. They say 01 underscore working copy, all one word. And then we need to make sure that it's an Animate document, which we'll put a .fla. So you don't need to necessarily type in FLA, it'll just automatically go to that. But just make sure it's the FLA document. The other option would be a XFL, but we want the FLA. Okay, so let's just do a save. And the book goes on to say this is a good habit to ensure your work won't be lost if your computer crashes. So next up is getting to know the workspace. I would suggest go ahead and reading the getting to know the workspace, but basically this is kind of the edit bar up here. I believe this is the application bar. Properties panel is over here. Find a little bit of everything in there, I think. This is the timeline down here, timeline panel. And this is the layers panel here. And my tools panel is over here for some reason. I'm really new to this, so I'm not even quite sure how to change that. I tried to update my my Animate and it wouldn't update for me for some reason. I think if it had, I would have like a little bit different interface. But my internet is just too slow at the house to update it, so I might have to go into the office to update. But I'm just going to make it work. We can also go into workspaces and change the workspace by going into Window, Window Workspace. And then you can try different things here. They want us to be on the Essentials workspace. I'm already on that. Another way to do it would be just quickly up here. Get to it the same way there. But it seems like that's the workspace that we need to be using. The book does say to go into Window, Workspaces, and you can do a reset. So we might try that. I don't know if that's going to change anything. Nah, it didn't change anything for me. I kind of thought maybe it might move my tools over to the left, but it didn't. But it does tell you to do that. And then the book also kind of goes through, you can save your custom workspace. So if you end up kind of after you get familiar with this, if you have a certain configuration that you like, you move around some panels and you have it set up the way you like it, you can actually save your workspace as, my workspace, and then you can return to it at a later date, or you can go back to the Essentials, whatever you want, but it'll be saved in there kind of as a preset option for you. if you want to do that. But it seems like that's something that's going to come later once you become familiar with the interface and the software. The book does talk about the stage. It's basically the white rectangle in the middle of the screen. This is where the text, images, and video appear. You can move elements on and off of the stage to place them in and out of view. You can also get rulers. You would go to View, Guides and Grids, and you can show guides, show grid that way. So you can see that, and you can turn on your ruler there maybe if you need those at some point. And then this gray area you can actually use to place elements that won't be visible to the audience, but you obviously can kind of keep things off to the side here if you want to. And this gray area is called the pasteboard. If you want to see only the stage, you can do View. Let's go up there. Magnification, and then Clip to Stage. Of course, we don't have anything to clip to, so we're not going to do that right now. But the book does walk you through a couple things. Just make sure that you do read through the book. I'm trying to cover it kind of briefly here. And so next up, it talks about changing the stage properties. So we'll change the color of the stage. So you can see over here in the properties panel, down here we have the size of the stage in pixels, 800 by 600. And we actually have, I believe this is the stage color right here. I don't know why this, I'm just going to say no to that. And so we can change the stage color a lot here. And we're going to choose a dark gray. Number 333333, which might actually be, let's see, it's this one. Okay, so we got that done. And next to the properties panel, you can see there's the library panel. This is basically to the right of the to the right of the properties panel, and it kind of displays the contents of your document. And it's kind of where you store and organize symbols created in Animate, as well as any imported files, like including bitmaps, graphics, sound files, or even video clips. So it's kind of an area to arrange and store files that you've actually imported into this Animate document. I guess you can create folders in here to kind of help organize your files as well. So that's kind of neat. So this is kind of a nice area to access items, and you can even add them to the stage again, edit them, or see their properties within the library panel. That's kind of the library panel in a really quick nutshell. So we're actually going to do a file import to library. So that's going to add that to the library. And this will be one of those lesson 1 files that you downloaded. So it should be in your downloads. Come in here. So we want the background.png file. That's the first thing that we're going to bring in. So open. So we're going to do that with some of the other files. Import to library. So we want to bring in all these. I wonder if I can do a shift. Yeah, I can. So shift and click will bring in all these other photo 1, photo 2, and photo 3 from that start folder. So that all came in. You can see them here. It's almost like the links panel in InDesign if you've worked in InDesign. Anyway, I'm running out of room on this video. I can only do 15 minutes at a time, so we'll continue where we left off in the next video.